Welcome everyone to the PJ's Cast. I'm your host Piers, joined alongside of my good pals Reagan and Dylan. How are you doing today on this fine Friday?
I'm tired, but I'm good.
I feel yeah.
It's
Tired.
been
It's been a long week. Reagan, I believe this is the first show that you've done in your new apartment, right?
It might be the second, but it's the first
Second?
one
I don't
since
know.
we've actually got settled and actually
You're
have
actually
things
settled
on
in,
the
fully
walls.
moved in. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the
No more
first one
cost
was
though.
right when we got our Wi-Fi, and it was just boxes everywhere, and we didn't have anything hung up. But now we're actually settled in, which is nice.
No more Cosmo though. That's
No, that's the only thing I miss about those windows.
sad.
I don't even really miss them per se. I just miss their dog and their cat, even though she kind of just hid most of the time.
Did the cat ever make an appearance on podcast? I feel
She
like
might have made one, but they let her outside a lot, so a lot of times she's just hiding or roaming around the neighborhood.
Cosmo is like our little Sebastian of the show. We just, even though he isn't dead, but we we just need to put a picture of him in the background or make that our background picture for the podcast to always have him in spirit.
Well, one of these days, Dylan and I are going to get a cat or a dog, so maybe they can join the podcast as well.
All more animals, the better, I say.
Mm-hmm.
Well. So a lot has happened since last podcast. We can talk about a coach getting or having to resign. We could talk about two future superstars not having a contract yet with their team. Well, you know what? I want to talk about the good vibes team, Chicago Blackhawks, baby. Finally, for last year, heading into training camp, it was are Taves and King gonna stay? Is this their final year as the Blackhawks? We obviously know the answer now. The year before that, it was the Kyle Beach stuff. 2020, we didn't even know that first bubble year. We didn't even know if there's gonna be an NHL season. I don't think there really was any training camps anyway. It just feels like the last few few years before COVID hit, 2019, 20, 18, 19, 17, 18. It just feels like there was a lot of this team is kind of on the downspin, but now coming into this year, there's none of that. It's just good, immaculate vibes. We see the players doing their interviews. We see Seth Jones letting out a smile for the first time, I think, since becoming a Blackhawk. I'm genuinely excited for this season. I think we've said it before. This team's probably still going to finish bottom 5. They might only have a few more wins than what they had last year, which was not a lot, but I think there's a lot to look forward to, and watching those prospect camp games, especially the one against St. Louis. We all had the great reactions of Connor Bedard being drafted, but seeing the players that play with Connor Bedard, how they react to him is just as good, if not better.
Yeah, for anyone that thought he wasn't NHL ready,
he was toying.
He still fucking dominates competition at his age. It's not even funny. Granted, St. Louis isn't the deepest prospect pool. Neither is, well, he didn't play against Minnesota, but you know what I mean. It was utter domination every time he stepped on the ice. Offensively, defensively, transition play. Made his teammates around him better, which I felt like was a big thing.
Him and Korchinski going back and forth.
Doc too. He had good chemistry with Doc.
Mm-hmm.
Their power play looked nasty. Anyone wondering how that wrist shot's going to translate.
Already top 10. Not even at worst top 10. Bar none.
The second goal, probably won't happen because defensemen aren't going to let you walk around them like that. And if they do, LOL. But the first one where he just curls and drags and roofs it over 3 Blues, I find that very hard for that a goalie's going to stop that just because of the velocity and speed of that puck. And the craziest part was he was close probably 7 times that night. It's just he had one that
at least 5 goals.
He zipped the crossbar a couple times. I don't know, man. This kid's sick. This kid he's gonna be fun to watch for a while. That's for sure.
The thing is, too, if he's this good at 18, how good is he gonna be once he gets more experience with the guys he's playing and just more experience in the NHL in general? Once he hits his prime, he's gonna be fucking scary, but it'll be so fun to watch.
He's ours. Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God.
Yeah, it'll be fun for sure. And like, also we're gonna have more talent get around over the next 3 years. Like,
Mhm.
by the time his ELC's up, this team is gonna be completely different, which
Yeah.
is a good
I
thing.
just
For
think
better, yeah.
Good though too that he has guys like Felino and Hall that he can like kind of learn from.
Hmm.
And from like what I've seen on like Twitter and stuff, at like Felino especially has been like a great leader so far for not even just Bedard, but like all the young guys in general. So I think it'll help him out a lot.
Yeah, it sounds like it. They're all happy to be there, which was
Yeah.
one thing I was a little concerned with too, because like it's very easy for players to just see the $4 million and take it and kind of throw in the towel and not give a shit for a season.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like that's what these players are going to do, which is good
Yeah.
because it's been shown in other teams. Let's just put it that way. Like, I don't know. Like Taylor Hall's been in some crazy situations. I feel like this is not even.
He
bottom
has
3.
been like, that's not even. This is not even the worst team he's been on. Like, remember the shortened 2021 season where he had like 2 goals or something like that, and then,
Eichel
like,
busted his neck.
Oh,
He had the year where he got traded to the Coyotes and they made the
Uh-huh.
playoffs.
yeah. He played on the mid 2010 Oilers. Like,
Yeah.
this is even a top 5 worst team he's been on.
Mhm.
Not that it's a high bar, but
It-
those were some stinker Oilers teams back
Yeah, they
then.
were bad. That's why they got so many first overall picks. Certainly, they have all those still, though, right?
Yeah, certainly. Oh my god! But no, we like earlier. I brought up like Seth Jones, like smiling and looking like happy. Like Nick Foligno, just the ultimate glue guy. There, like he wants to be in Chicago. He wants to be a leader. We saw that tweet. I don't know if it was Ben Pope or one of those Chicago guys where he said that a defenseman made a mistake. Didn't say who, but like before Luke Richardson could even go over, like Nick Foligno's like going over there and like kind of talking him up, like encouraging him. Hey, like shit happens, whatever. Like I feel like we're gonna really fall in love with Nick Foligno over the course of the season. And not only that, and he can still be a guy who pots like 10, 15 goals, but still be a mentor to guys like Bedard, Reichel, Korchinski, and so on. Potentially Nazar by the end of the year.
And he gets to be on the ultimate meme line with him, Perry, and Dickinson.
It's still weird seeing Corey Perry. It's almost as weird as like seeing Connor Bedard in a Blackhawks shirt. You're like, oh shit, he's ours. But Corey Perry, we've been rooting against him all these years. Like, oh, he's a Blackhawk now. All right,
Perry's
That's
the kind
cool.
of guy. I feel like I've said this before in the podcast, but Perry's the kind of guy that you absolutely cannot stand unless he's on your team, and then you can
Mhm.
like, tolerate him.
He's a shithead, but he is our shithead. I think the power play is going to be good this year. Like, of course, like that's easy to say with Connor Bedard, Lucas Reichel. I think is going to take a step. There's a good chance Korchinski, Man's the first power play unit, maybe definitely the second power play unit if he's on the team. Him and Seth Jones will definitely take time going back and forth with that. But all the guys that they're going to have at the net front with Nick Foligno, Corey Perry, Colton Dock, if he's a midseason call-up, I think the power play is going to be good this year.
Just depends on how the coach plays them.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to at this point. Because, like, pretty sure they already alluded that Korchinski's going to get the Kaiser treatment at the end of last year,
Mhm.
which that should go over well with half the fan base. Him getting scratched every other game. But, like, that's the kind of stuff you're going to have to deal with when these kids get called out. They're not just going to
Mhm.
get thrown into the deep end as much
Nor
as you
should
want them
they
to.
really. Like, I don't think you should scratch them. Like, they should be playing more often than not. But I think it's honestly good for their development to like load manage and not play every game the rest of the season. Like, sometimes it's good to maybe just take one day off and kind of watch from the press box.
Well, they got 4 young left-handed defensemen who
Mhm.
all should be playing games this year.
Yeah.
And Korchinski, Kaiser, Phillips, and Vlasic. So, I mean, I guess it makes sense. Like, they're going to divvy up those games because, like, they did
Mhm.
not sign anyone on the left side this offseason for a very
No.
distinct reason, I feel like.
Nor should they have. Yeah.
So, we'll see.
I feel like the one waste kind of a defensive spot. I don't even know if he's gonna get regular time anyways. Is Nikita Zaitsev? Like I saw, we talked about all those left-handed defensemen, but another one who could potentially maybe not make the team right now, but get called up later because he'll be playing in Rockford this year is Nolan Allen. Luke Richardson really liked Nolan Allen's game, which is no surprise. He's a big 6'3" defenseman he's a decent skater and has worked on his puck skating skills. Like I feel he's kind of been like a meme ever since that whole like draft day went down with the Seth Jones trade. But all in all, that's like a guy. If you can have a guy who can just eat shutdown minutes and like not necessarily drive offense, but have to kind of just be a black hole both ways and switch sides, that's a good thing, I think. And also Ethan Del Mastro is another guy who can do that.
Yeah, they got Allen skating with Tenorti at camp right now, and I feel like that's a pretty good guy for Allen to try to emulate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because if Allen could be this Tenorti next year, or this team's Tenorti next year, that's probably what you want. Like someone who's going to play bottom four, shut down. Like someone hits your young player, he's going to go drop the gloves with them. I mean, we already saw that in the tournament.
Yeah, true.
Stuff like that's going to stick out with your coach, 100%. And you got to think that Del Mastro's a call out this year if he's in Rockford.
Yeah, I think he's in Rockford too because they were the same draft class.
Like they have 5 young defensemen on the left side, and like they're going to play one of them right-handed on the right side, which like I would think Kaiser is probably the easiest to do with that at the moment. But like Del Mastro and Allen with their play styles, if they can learn to play the right side along with the left at the NHL level, they'll be probably everyday players.
I'm pretty sure Allen played the right side with Korchinski in Seattle for like a good portion last year.
He did, which is good to hear.
But yeah, that's kind of where the defense stands. Forwards, Taylor Hall is well, he isn't like injured, but he hasn't participated in training camp yet because of I think it was a lower body injury. But it's cool to see that they're giving Athanasio, Reichel, and Kurashev a chance together because they developed some decent chemistry last year, and also giving Reichel a chance to play at center. What do we think? What do we think about Lucas Reichel playing center? Because I felt like he did play center in Rockford, but then he kind of shifted back the wing. But now they want him to play center again.
I genuinely think it's just because his team doesn't have centers.
Yeah.
That's the only reason he's playing center right now. And I think they would like to know if he can hang at the center at the NHL level in case someone gets hurt down the line. I don't think this is a case of them seeing him as the 2C of the team.
Oh, no.
Or maybe the 3C. I don't know. But the guy's a winger at heart. And I have to imagine once Nazar and Moore are up, he's going to be a winger full time. But we'll see.
I feel like – oh, you go, Reagan. Sorry.
He's young enough to where they can maybe kind of like teach him some things and kind of like train him to be a center. So if something does happen and they need to throw him in at center, he has a little bit more experience with it, I guess is the best way to put it.
I mean, granted, he does play the middle of the ice, basically. If you watch the last like 20 games of the last year, every time he had the puck, he wasn't on the boards. He was usually in the middle, around the slot, around the net front. Like I know he got a lot of his goals off tips in the net front, or just causing or like going to the front of the net and getting a body, basically. Like stuff like that'll translate, but I don't know. It'll be interesting to see a guy who has primarily played. Well, did he play center in Rockford? I don't know.
I don't know if he played the full, but he must have played at least half because I saw a lot he was playing center. So he definitely has some reps at center, at least at the AHL level.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I don't know. Like I just don't like. I don't see a year from now even he's still a center.
No, probably not.
Like Gutman, I think can play center. I think he proved it. He can also win draws. Like. I don't know. I just don't think it's like they're doing it out of need right now, not in necessity, not out
and kind of just trying things like, hey, maybe you're not a center, but maybe we can get some like defensive habits in your game.
That's the big thing. Yeah, I think that's the big thing. Sorry,
but like I said, he's a winger at heart. I think it's just they're trying something new, seeing if it'll work out because they can right now since the season hasn't started yet.
That's what the next 2 seasons are about, honestly. Just experimentation.
Development.
Like I would be trying out all these defensemen on the right side if you can. I'd be trying out certain defensemen. Like I'd have a second power play with Kaiser and Korchinski running it, and then put like 3 guys to go to the net on it. Like you got to do stuff like that because I think Jones is going to be on that first power play. They were kind of already teasing it in practice today, and they have him on the right circle, which I think is interesting. Like not right circle, but like right point area, not in the middle like he usually was with the Hawks. So, but also like that could be just because Bedard moves like a fucking jumping bean. So I don't know.
Yeah, maybe if right goes even center, you can do like a thing with what the Sharks did all the time with Thornton Pavelski. Left side have Reichel take the face off, then right side have Bedard take the face off. So the lines that Charlie Romelio just tweeted out today was Donato, Bedard, Tyler Johnson. I'm assuming you kind of said this in the group chat, Schmitty, but the third line is Bjork, Gutman, and Radish. You would think once Taylor Hall is back, it would be Donato, Gutman, Radish, and then Taylor Hall, Connor Bedard, Tyler Johnson.
Yeah. And then you have the Reichel line, and then you have the Dickinson line, and that's probably
Foligno,
I was gonna say that's probably what the day one lineup is, and then your extras are gonna be Kachuk and Anderson and
Johnson and Whistle. Yeah, Blackwell I think is still injured.
Yeah, Blackwell will get a mix in there. I don't know. They have like 18 bodies at forward right now, which is a good thing, but also like
injuries aren't going to happen
keep them all.
Year. Yeah,
so, I don't know.
There's going to be chances.
They have a lot of two-way deals, which helps, so you can just send them down if you need to. But whatever.
Like I was really impressed by Colin Dock. I would be very shocked if he doesn't get a call up midway through the year or even earlier if there's a lot more injuries. Defensive pairings. We saw Ben Pope tweeted it out that Korchinski and Murphy, and then Kaiser and Jones, which I really like.
It's a very good top 4. I just want to know if they're going to actually have that top 4 come playing time, because it would probably leave the third pair to be like Vlasic and Tenorti or something, which would be fine, but I don't know. I had a feeling that the Kaiser one might be flipped, but Korchinski and Murphy always seem to make the most sense anyway, just because of the play styles.
Even Connor Murphy's like, yeah, I'm just a slower guy. I'll, just chill back here, defend, and let Korchinski do all the skating and transition work.
Let him rover.
Cook. Yeah, hell yeah. And then Kaiser and Jones, they just both are very well rounded. I think that could be a good pair. Maybe that doesn't put up a ton of points, but one that's just good on both ends. Jones will get his points though. And Kaiser's kind of another guy that stood out in training camp because he just looks so competitive. He's kind of like a jack of all trades player where he's not amazing at anything, but he's just solid skating, good offensive and defensive awareness, and good skater. And then as for the goalies, it's pretty much set. Soderblom and Mrazek. And it's, I think Mrazek's kind of have a similar season as last year. And really, if Soderblom takes the net over, then the net is his. But I'd be shocked if there was an injury to a goalie. And I think maybe Jackson Stauber might get another call up, and Drew Commesso might even get a couple of games if things really get bad.
Yeah, the biggest thing with goaltending this year is just Arvid Soderblom's got to find consistency in his game. Because, he had a lot of games last year where he was the reason the Hawks were even in the game.
Yeah, he was really good till it felt like New Year's, and then he just really he cratered. And it happened. Like you're playing on a horrible defensive team, and the middle of the season, it's hard to keep that up. Because
it's clear he's too good for Rockford at this point. He had a 930 last year, so if he just needs to find consistency at the NHL level. That's all I have to say to that. Because if he does, they'll probably win a couple more games than they lose. But if he doesn't, then it's going to be a lot like 2018-19, I got a feeling, where his team's probably scoring goals, but they're letting up 6 a game. So.
You know what? I honestly wouldn't mind that because it would make the games entertaining, and we know we're not going anywhere. Those seasons were frustrating because he wanted to make the playoffs, and if you got an extra couple saves, they probably at least make the playoffs. Anyways, that's kind of I wouldn't say that's it for training camp because like there's still like preseason's gonna be coming soon, and then the sooner than you know the regular season will be going. But nothing but good vibes right now from the GM down to the coach to the players, the prospects. Like it's just.
You should probably talk
so
about Jeff
excited.
Greenberg getting hired.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that also happened. Jeff Greenberg got hired as general manager of the Detroit
Tigers.
So Mr. Analytics man for baseball went back to baseball apparently because he couldn't hack it in hockey. But
he was with the Cubs before, I think, wasn't he?
I think Davidson even mentioned it last year. Like, this guy's not going to be around long. Like,
no, I'm pretty sure other NHL teams were trying to interview
Pittsburgh
him
was
too.
interviewing him. I know that for a fact. Fenway Sports Group definitely had a
Uh-huh.
good look at him before they hired Dubas. He's a hot name, and like everyone can be sad about it, but at the end of the day, he built up that analytics department from one of the worst to one of the best in the league within 2 years. And even if he's gone, his presence is still going to be felt. Like there's no way it won't be. And like all the knowledge that Davidson picked up from him, and like you could tell in his interviews that like having Greenberg as like a right hand man was very useful for him the last 2 years, and just trying to figure out trajectories and whatnot, and like, you know, upside and prospects and how certain play styles are going to emulate in the next 3 years and whatnot. Like he really spearheaded like the analytics revolution in this organization, which I can be happy with.
Or at least bring it back to the forefront, because I felt the Blackhawks when they were winning the cups, like they were pretty far ahead of the curve, but they just they were behind it, and then other teams were catching up as well. Now they're kind of back at the forefront because of Jeff Greenberg.
Call me crazy, but I just feel like part of like when they were winning the early cups, they didn't even know their analytics were good. They were just like, we have a good roster. It's like, but they also play extremely well 5-on-5.
Yeah, it's just.
I feel like in general, though, sports analytics is one of those things that like a couple of years ago, no one really paid too much attention to, and it's just something in the industry that's really like come up a lot more, and people have been paying a lot more attention to.
I feel like it's because especially in hockey, like I'm not really going to count Vegas, but Colorado and Tampa are basically define what analytics is meant for.
Yeah.
Like
puck possession,
build your team up from the middle, like all that. And I mean, you got to emulate that. It's a copycat league, and I'm glad teams are copying that more than the fluke run the Blues had in 2019, where everyone drafted big for the next 2 years.
2011 of Bruins, yeah, they won, but like a lot of teams tried to emulate that, and it did not work. That includes Vancouver Canucks.
Hell, people try to emulate the Blackhawks all the time. Like, we joked about it when we saw the tweet about the Canucks 3 years ago. We were like, this is a young Blackhawks core. Talked about the Leafs, young Blackhawks core. It's like, it's a copycat league.
I just about said Pierre McGuire, Pierre LeBrun tweet where he's like, like what was it? Bo Horvat is Jonathan Taves. Elias Pettersson is Patrick Kane or whatever, and then
already had their Duncan Keith. Don't know who their Seabrook is.
Duncan Keith. Yeah, I don't know who their Seabrook is though. Tyler Myers.
Yeah,
wait, who did they sign this year?
They don't have a Hossa. Oh wait, it's Kuzmenko.
Noted two-way dynamo.
Noted guy who shot almost 30% last year. Andre Kuzmenko.
Is that how they're? Yeah, he shot high 20s, I'm pretty sure. That's basic. That's crazy. That's like scoring a goal every 4 shots you take.
He's in for some healthy regression.
How's that for some math? It's I saw this picture, I forget, but it's just like when the player regresses to the mean enjoyers or something like that, when a player's just on an insane bender and they drop back down to earth.
me waiting for that with Brock Purdy in football, but
do you want to talk about football?
No. No. Really, really don't actually.
Nope.
I'm good.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Even Reagan's like, no.
I don't think Schmitty and I are okay at the moment.
I mean, I've lived this my whole life. It's just they're a tire fire. They don't deserve my time. They don't deserve the time on the show. They gotta earn my respect back. Let's just put it that way.
I'm glad we're in the same boat.
Yeah. Like,
because this has been my entire life.
Whatever. Like, I got fucking cousins I haven't talked to in months texting me, just being like, the fuck is this team? I'm like, dude, I could have told you the D-line was going to suck, but I couldn't tell you the rest of this is going to happen. Whatever. I don't want to talk football. Let's talk about Brad Marchand being captain. Like, that wasn't obvious. Actually, the funnier one's Braden Shin. for the Blues because whatever. The Blues
Well, I
are
guess-
living in denial.
Marchand, I could have predicted. Shen.
I would have thought it would have been Parayko or something.
I would have thought Parayko.
I would have guessed one of Thomas or Kyrou would have gotten the captaincy.
Oh, it's the Blues. They gotta wear the heart of the crest on their jersey. Fucking.
Hell yeah, you need a good Western Canadian kid. Brayden Shen.
I hope the Blues just suck in mediocrity the next 3 years because they have so many contracts locked in. Like obviously good for
Especially that
Shen.
defense.
Yeah. Falk, Krug, fucking they're all locked
Parayko,
up 8 years.
Scandella, like their whole defense is locked up, yes, but that's not a very
I
good
forgot
defense.
about Scandella. That's terrible.
You might even say that's Scandella-licious. That was fucking horrible.
And then you got Boston, where it's just like, I don't feel like we're hearing the panic out of Boston yet, but like
It will happen sooner than you think.
some of the fans are already there. They're like, this is the biggest year Pavel Zacha's ever gonna have in his career to define his fucking 6 overall pick. I'm just like, you guys are setting yourselves up for failure
Seems
right now.
when Cole Gutman gets more points.
I think the panic is there. They're just trying to hide the fact they're panicking.
Oh, they're going through the stages of grief
Yeah.
from losing Bergeron. They are in denial right now.
Trust me, when October hits and the Bruins are losing and the Patriots are like 2-6, we're gonna find out the real duality of these new Boston sports fans. Because old Boston sports fans that are like 40 years old, I feel like they get it because they had 20 years of misery before Brady got there.
Yeah.
Like people forget that
How long did
before
the
the
Red
Patriots,
Sox-
everyone in Boston sucked.
How long
except
did the Red Sox go? It was like almost
100
90 years.
almost.
90
Yeah.
years without a World Series or something.
Yeah, and then Boston went 50 years without a cup. People forget that, or like
They won, I
47
think.
years.
I'm going to look that up.
Yeah, all I know is that they had one of the longest droughts after Chicago, and then won the next year. Boston's won one championship, or the Celtics have won one chip since the Bird era. Like,
Because even now, like, even if they didn't win the cup, Boston went back, what, 3 times? 2 times? 3?
they've been to the Cup 3 times since like the Bergeron era, because they won in
Yeah, they
2011.
went 3 times 2011, 2013, and 2019.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I have it pulled up. The Boston Red Sox went from 1918 to 2004, 86 years without a World Series victory, but they've won 4 since. The Bruins went from 1972 to 2011, so almost 40 years
Mhm.
without a Stanley Cup.
It-
Blackhawks
Oh,
went
no.
almost 50 years without a cup.
Hawks are gonna go. Yeah, Bears are pushing 40 years now without a Super Bowl. We're not gonna talk about that.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
But,
aren't sports fun?
I went to the last Colts game of the season last year when the Bears got the first overall pick, and the guy next to me, it was a 1:00 game. We sat down at 11:30, 12, and the guy is already plastered and kept
Real.
telling me that I don't know what pain and misery is because he's been a fan for 40 years, and it's like, sorry,
Wait, is he a Bear fan or a Colt fan?
he was a Colts fan.
Fuck off!
Did
You
they-
won a Super Bowl in your lifetime. Jesus.
He's like, I've been a
You
fan since
2
like
elite quarterbacks, and then you fucking ran one on you. Dude, I wish I was there with you, Reagan. I would have ripped that guy a new one. Holy shit!
I don't know what it's like because he's
Oh,
been
I
a
don't know what it's like to have an elite Hall of Fame quarterback, and
Yeah,
you've
that's
had
like-
2 of them in a 20-year span. Shut the
And
these
on
people
top
are
of
so
that,
fucking
it's like-
spoiled, bro.
Sorry, my parents were still in fucking high school in '85. The last time the Bears won.
Oh, you're so spoiled. Your team literally beat our team for a Super Bowl in this century. Shut the fuck up. Like, oh my God. Colts fans saying that is the.
What
Like,
year was that?
oh, your last 5 years have been tough? Oh, add another 0 to that bitch and then come back to me. Fuck off.
Wait, what year
Going
did they
out
face
with
in the
me.
Super Bowl? I did not know.
2006.
Oh,
And that was
2006,
and Peyton
okay.
Manning just ran our shit.
Oh, right.
Fucking.
Manning-
Oh, but remember they haven't had it good. They didn't have Hall of Fame best quarterback of all time, Peyton Manning. And then on top of that, had the best prospect this game had seen in 15 years and fucking killed him. Like Andrew Luck would have been a first fouled Hall of Famer. Brought his team from 3 wins to 11 years, 11 wins his rookie year, made the playoffs every fucking year, and they ran his ass out of town and he retired early. because they wouldn't fucking protect him. Like, fuck you. Oh my God. Like, I would kill to have 5 years of Andrew Luck. But nope. Nope. We have it better, apparently. Okay. Sure. No, that got me, Reagan. That's fucking insane.
Oh, I made Dylan, because we were like on the edge. I made Dylan sit next to him so I could be in the aisle seat because I'm like, I'm going to start swinging. Like, I can't do this right now.
Like,
and I'm like,
dog, these guys are idiots.
Bro, if you guys lose this game, my team gets the first overall pick, meaning we're the worst team in the fucking league this year.
Yeah, but they have it bad.
Apparently, they have it worse.
Whatever, bro. Whatever. That just tells you how spoiled these fans are. Jesus Christ. Oh, my team won 4 games this year for the first time in like fucking since they got Andrew Luck. Like,
that's like Yankees fans this year. I think I heard. Like,
Yankees fans can blow it right out their ass, bro. It's not about the record; it's about the expectation. Shut up, Jesus Christ! Like, you could have an active shooter in the building like the White Sox, but no, we're bad because Aaron Judge missed a month and fucked our season. Like, you should feel so bad for us and our 27 rings that anytime you criticize us, we're gonna bring up. Shut up! Oh my God, I hate baseball. Like, I genuinely can't stand baseball for that fact alone. Jesus Christ. Like, you know how many fucking fan bases do that shit? No, you need to feel bad for our really, really, really good team for finally missing the playoffs. Shut up.
No, I don't.
Like, you know how many Cardinals fans were looking for sympathy, bro? Like, shut up. Oh my God. You've seen your team win 3 fucking times in this century. Like, something like it's like if we bitched about the Blackhawks and been like, "Oh, you gotta feel bad for us for sucking." No, you don't. I don't give a shit.
No.
The only thing
I would never want that same sympathy for the Blackhawks ever.
Dude, fuck
like,
that.
I like being the evil empire.
Dude, I like being the villain, and also the only thing I want people to not do is make fucking rape jokes about the team because I think that shit is super insensitive, and you look like a fucking moron.
If you're gonna make fun of the Blackhawks, make fun of them because of like
make fun of their on ice product, which is like, not good.
They blow a 3-1 series lead, like when they start getting back to contention and not Kyle Beach, blah blah punchline, laugh now, get whatever likes.
Like they're doing that with the Bears right now too with the Alan Williams thing. Like, you know how many fucking kid jokes I've seen? And it's like, dog, we don't even know what's going on. But even if that's the case, you look like a horrible person.
Yeah, people don't care. Shit. They just want to dunk on the team.
They don't care. It's not their fucking team. And then when it is their team, they want sympathy. Fuck you. I don't forget. Some people may. I fucking don't forget that shit. Like, I have the last 3 years, I have taken notes over the Sportscape of how people have reacted. And I don't forget that shit. If that ever happens to any other team, I don't have an ounce of sympathy. I have it for the players and all that. Fuck the fans, dude. They don't deserve shit. They don't deserve shit.
It's the thing of like, you don't ever want this stuff to happen, but I just hate the people's ignorance of like, oh, my team would have never handled it this way. Like, oh no, it would never happen to my team. Like, my team is too pure and holy, angelic. Yeah. It's the thing in life where it's like, oh, it's only bad if it affects me.
Hey, don't worry. If it is their team, they can go back to the other 8 that they have. It's all good. Whatever. Sorry for that rant. I just like Reagan's comment about a Colts fan saying that is just so rich. Like,
well, it's funny too because like my boyfriend's a Colts fan, so like week 1, you know, like the Bears put up a fight, but like they lost, like whatever, and they lost to the Jags, which is not great. But then week 2
lost to the Browns.
Week 2 all this shit happened. He goes, I can't give you shit anymore because you definitely have it way worse, and I'm just not even gonna bother. And I'm like, that's a good idea. Like, because I'm not well.
Yeah, it's whatever. Like, I'm so numbed when the Bears are bad. Like, all my hatred went out week 1 when they lost. Like, I saw the products on the field, and I was like, you have to earn back my respect because it's
my own hatred.
I was on vacation for week 1, and so we were like hiking all morning, so we were in Gatlinburg. And then we go to a bar to like eat because we hadn't eaten all day. We watch at the start of the Bears game. So we're sitting there, I'm minding my own business, worried about the game. The 2 people come and sit next to me. I look over. Of course, they're fucking Packers fans. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So we watched the first half, and I'm like, I'm over it. I'm upset. Whatever. We go just do some other stuff. And then we were walking back to the car that night, and it's just pouring. So like we like dip into a store. I'm soaked. I'm upset. I'm angry. And then some guy walks up to me because I'm wearing my Bears. He goes, "Oh, how'd the Bears do?" And I'm like, "Oh, they lost. It is what it is. We can bounce back." And then he goes, "Yeah, I'm a Packers fan." And then
I wouldn't, Reagan, if it was pouring rain and I was covered in rain and someone asked me that and I see them,
Pick a puddle at him.
I would have said no. If you see you soaking wet wearing a Bears shirt and the guy comes up to me and goes, "Hey, are you a Bears fan?" I would have just said no. I would have said no. I got this at flea market. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Well, he goes, "How do they do?" And I was like, "Oh, they lost, but whatever." Not even thinking he was gonna be a Packers fan and give me. I thought he, was genuinely asking. No, he was just trying to be a dick and rub it in. And I was like, "I'm soggy. I'm tired. I have to drive 7 hours home tomorrow. Leave me alone."
It just cracks me up because I don't know, man. All I know is that they pick on certain. It's just ridiculous.
All I can think of is a scene from South Park where Scott Turman is just fucking around with Carbon, and Carbon's just like, 8 hours, Scott. It took me 8 hours to get back here. That's you with that Packers fan.
I wish someone would come up to me and say that shit. I'd rip him a new one. I don't care.
I think I just walked away because I this.
You're a bigger person than me. Let's just put it that way. I would have probably made a
60,
scene.
50 or 60, and I was like, I'm not dealing with this bullshit. I just walked away, and then I hear Dylan trying to be like, "Oh well, Jordan Love didn't look good. He looked pretty bad actually. Was trying to help, but he didn't because the guy, of course, is a Packers fan. So he's all high and mighty on himself and his team, and I'm like."
That guy's 12 beers in going, "We're back. We got 3 elite quarterbacks, even though he hasn't done a fucking thing to be I just can't wait for them to deal with their own Mitch Trubisky for the next 5 years. Because that's what Jordan Love is. They should just be glad that they have a decent coach.
They lost to the fucking Falcons last week, but no, Packers are going to be the same as they were the last time.
I kind of just hope the Packers suck, even though they won week 1, honestly. Be way better.
I don't know if you guys heard it, but my boyfriend just came in.
I just said, "Fuck the Packers."
There we go.
Yeah, fuck the Packers.
There we go.
Fuck the Packers.
Fuck the Packers. I like
be like Eric Foreman. Be the only one wearing a Bears jersey.
Oh, I know.
I always root for the underdog.
The Rebels.
Yeah, the Bears are just like the Rebels. Oh my god.
I am sick and tired of hearing of that fruit. Luke Skywalker.
Luke Skywalker this, Luke Skywalker that. Sick of hearing about that fruit.
You know what fruit I am sick of hearing of, and I doubt this is going to be the last we hear of it? Mike Babcock.
Oh my god.
He got, I think the day after we recorded last week, he resigned. Or it was a day or two after. I don't know. But since then he has resigned. And I say to this, if someone shows you they are an asshole, you should believe them. Mike Babcock did fuck all to say yeah, I'm a changed man. He didn't even try to hide it. And people were like, "Oh, there's hindsight. It could have worked out." No, there was no way that was ever gonna work out. There's too much of a track record of him being an asshole. At what point is this on Jarmo Kekalainen and John Davidson or whatever his name is for letting enabling this, letting this happen, hiring him, and then letting him go? Oh, this generation of players is too soft. He's not allowed to invade your privacy by just taking your phone and looking through it. Say that all you want, but Chris Chelios, a guy who played hockey in the 1980s where it was murder sport, where it was a murder scene where they happened to be wearing knife shoes and using wooden tree branches, shoot puck around, haha. And he said he backed up Johan Franzen, another guy who I'm not saying, oh, he's a tough guy, but like this, Johan Franzen was one of like the premier power forwards, a guy who would stand in front of the net, knock in like 30 goals on the power play. And he said that was mentally too much for him. And look how he's treated Hall of Famers like Mike Modano, sitting at 1,499 games, scratches him for 1,500, did not play another game. Did the same to Jason Spezza, going to his hometown Toronto Maple Leafs, first night, his family in attendance, scratch him. Like, there's probably plenty of other things that Mike Babcock has done that we don't even know about, like Mitch Marner too, what he did to him. I just... Like, we know he's an asshole. He did absolutely nothing to change that. There was those puff pieces of, like, Pierre LeBrun, like, oh, I'm breaking my silence, like he's some kind of clickbait YouTuber. And you, like, read the article, and he's just like, well, you apologize to Johan Franzen. And the other guy's like, I don't think I did anything wrong. Like, he said everything to make you, like, he didn't change, like, to... like he did nothing to change. Like he's not even like trying to hide the fact that he hasn't changed. He's like, yeah, this is who I am. I coached at the University of Vermont, and they hire him, and you think things are gonna go well. He couldn't even get to preseason.
Dog, when you have reports coming out after that, first of all, nothing cracks me up more than Chicklets breaking the story, which makes perfect sense. Because why the fuck would any player tell a journalist what happened? They would flip that. Look at the Justin Fields shit that happened this week. The media does not give a fuck. They are just going to flip it for a story. I'm actually glad that they went to the Chicklets.
At least not the mainstream media. Like,
yeah,
Pierre LeBrun was literally writing
the same 5 beat writers that don't show their face when there's sexual assault allegations going on.
Oh,
we kept track. We remember that. Like,
I fucking hate. I always forget chicken split. I can't ever say it.
Spitting Chicklets.
Yeah, thank you. I always get it backwards in my head for some reason. I can't stand them, but at the same time, I feel like it's
Chicklin Spitlets.
Yeah, that's what I always want to say. Right, but my brain just gets it all jumbled up, and I don't know why.
Listen, I don't like their show, but like I can respect them for at least getting players to fucking.
Here's the thing, like
on the show.
That's one thing I respect, and like they have an audience and they have people that listen. Like it was serious enough that they had to do an investigation on it, and like say whatever you want about Spitting Chicklets, Barstool, all that stuff. It should tell you how rough hockey culture's in, that players feel comfortable going to Paul Bissonnette and not like the general manager, not the NHL PA, have to go to a former NHL player who only got like 20 points or something. Like no disrespect to Bissonnette, but like he's clearly carved out his own career with what he does. Like it's pretty cool, but
it built a brand.
Yeah, exactly. It should just show you what state hockey is in, that it had to get to that point.
Really don't like the guy, but I respect what he's done.
Also, I want to make a point about the Babcock thing because I think another topic needs to be discussed. I think Jarmo Kekalainen's done. That
has to be his last bullet.
That's your last fucking straw.
Yeah.
You have hired 3 coaches now, and one of them didn't even fucking make it to camp. And the second one arguably fucked up development on 3 of your big prospects. Like, what has he done to keep his job? Genuinely. Got Ivan Provorov.
Oh, but he finally got him out of the first round for the first time in franchise history.
Got gift wrap Fantilli because Anaheim's stupid. Like, dude, I this guy needs to be fired after this year.
And John Davidson too. Like, how did you sit around and let that happen?
Like, he had to apologize to the fucking locker room. Like, dude, you knew what you were hiring when you. Oh my god,
that's the whole point. Like, yes, we know Mike Babcock is awful, but a lot of the times in these situations, like, there's always going to be idiots working around every walk of awful people. But if you don't handle it properly, then it's going to get bigger and it's going to be a bigger problem. And you are just as culpable as they are. And that's what I see with Jarmo Kekalainen and John Davidson right now. Like, he shouldn't have a job, like, for that reason alone. And like the fact that Columbus he's only made it out of the first round once in his tenure as general manager. Like, we could be talking about how Columbus has a young, exciting team, but no, of course, like, you had to be stupid and hire Mike Babcock. Like, what the fuck did you think was gonna happen? Play stupid game, win stupid prizes, looks good on you, all that stuff.
It looks real good on you. And I'm kind of just glad he's gone so he doesn't fuck up Fantilli and Juracek's career.
Yeah, me too.
So, whatever.
And I
Columbus
guess,
won't learn their lesson, and that's fine.
yeah, as long as if Kekalainen and Davidson are around, I don't think they are.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how much Davidson had, but like I know he's like the I think president of hockey ops or something. Like he's works with Kekalainen, so I just.
Dog, Yarmo's been there for almost a decade. Like, it's time to put up or shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want to say this team has expectations, but like, you got Gaudreau, you got Line, you traded for Provorov, you traded for Severson.
Mm-hmm.
When are you going to make the playoffs? Yeah, so he has
Or
been the
take a
GM
step
for
at
over
least,
a decade now.
Mm-hmm.
Why is he still there? Why? They have not done
No.
anything, especially in the last 3 years, to warrant him having a job. Whatever. I'm glad other teams are being stupid, but I just
Yeah.
feel bad for those kids because
I do too. That's the worst part. Like, Boone Jenner, like, of course he's probably gonna let Mike Babcock go his throne because that was like the big thing that came up first. Boone Jenner is 30 again. I assume he's probably married, maybe has a couple of kids. He's probably more comfortable with like letting him go through your phone. And like, this is a newer, younger generation. Like, I don't care who you are. Like, first time meeting someone, you're gonna be like, "Hey, what's up? My name is Mike. Let me look through your phone." Like, what if you have private information on there? Like, God forbid, I saw Brock McGillis say this. Like, what if these players have like sensitive images in their camera roll
that's
and they
immediately
get
what I
outed?
thought, bro.
Yeah,
Like, I'm so glad he got to see fucking like Adam Fantilli's bare ass cheeks or something on his phone. Because, you know,
Yeah.
I got to see your pictures, even though you're probably sending nudes or some shit because he's got a bunch of kids
Yeah.
on his team. Like
Okay.
Bissonnette said it best. I would have like spread my legs and give him the phone and be like, "You want to see it? There you go. I'm scarring you for life. Have a good one." Fucking wild.
Am I the asshole? Am
Am I the
thing
asshole for
between
taking
butt cheeks?
pictures of
Yeah.
my asshole for my boss because he wants to look through my phone? You know how much of a headline grabber that one would be on Reddit? Oh my god.
It's like,
Yeah, Mike Babcock just going to Reddit. Am I the asshole for looking through people's phones?
See, but
without
like
their consent?
I literally fucking word it like I wasn't a hockey team. I just make it sound like it's a business, and then you get like,
Yeah, am I-
no,
yeah.
just want to say this is a hockey team. And I think someone put someone put two and two together and realized this is the Blue Jackets.
Yeah, and Mike Babcock, yes. Like, yeah, like, oh, I'm trying to look through my employee's phone. I just met him. I'm the new boss, but he won't let me. He feels uncomfortable. What
He
should I do,
Respect
guys?
my authority.
Yeah, respect my authority. But yeah, turns out I'm the head coach of an NHL team. Some pod guy, enforcer, fourth liner, he used to play hockey, broke the news, and now I had to.
And now I'm
force
getting
feed his
fired. Am I the asshole?
Am I the asshole here?
And then someone
Yes, you
comments
are.
and says, "You are the asshole." And then he comments and goes, "You weren't there. You don't know how it went down." God, I can't believe you guys would make assumptions like that. Ugh.
Hold on, let's hear both sides out. Yeah, just I don't even know. Like, just so. Do I think you're muted there?
Had the rant last week when we talked about this. Like, it's a fireable offense in any business ever. It's invasion.
Yeah.
Of, period. This shouldn't have even been up for discussion to begin with.
Mm-mm.
Whatever.
I don't know. Like, if I'm the ownership, I don't know who the ownership or the Blue Jackets are. Like, I'm fucking pissed. Like, really? Yeah, I would assume he probably had to go. Jarmo Kekalainen probably had to go to owners. Yeah, this is Mike Babcock. I know he did this, but I know he's like, I know him for a long time. He's Olympic gold medals, Stanley Cups, and like all the mental bullshit games aside, like what the fuck has he done in the last decade to be like, yeah, you know what, he's a horrible person, but he's won, so we can hire him. He hasn't done anything in the past. He hasn't won a playoff round in 10 years.
It's not what have you done. It's not what have you done. It's what have you done for me lately, right? So let's look at what he did lately. He held back the Leafs offensively to the point that Matthews and Marner probably could have another 100-point season under their belts if he wasn't ignorant. Let's just be honest. Let's be fucking honest.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that he was so like that should be alone be a red flag if you're going to hire this guy. Hey, he didn't want to put his two best players together, which ended
With
up
a
being
young team?
unstoppable once they did. Like, no one has stopped Matthews and Marner since they've been put together. But no, I can't do that because my ego's better than that. So I'll put him with Janssen and Kapanen, and he'll be a real first-line center. Like, fuck you. I hate Babcock, dude. This guy should have never even sniffed the league again. whatever.
No, and I don't think you know what, I say that, but some team will be like, oh, maybe we got to get him in the advisory
Yeah,
department.
maybe he
whatever
could turn us into the
fucking-
08 Red Wings, bro.
Yeah.
The 08 Red Wings.
Oh, that's easy. You just draft a franchise defenseman, and then you draft a franchise center in the 7th round, and then another franchise center in the 7th round. Like, even when he was doing good, like, of course he won cups and gold medals. Look at the teams he was coaching. Like,
Whatever, dude. I'm done talking about Babs. He's pissing me off.
yeah,
He's
let's-
gone. That's all that matters. And he's going to get paid for, like, please tell me since he got fired, he's not getting paid his whole contract.
Well,
now.
no, he resigned, which I'm pretty
Okay.
sure if you resign, you don't get paid. But then I
Good.
heard on the Steve Dangle podcast that they're still. I don't know exactly how that works, but either way,
If they're
like,
still paying him, shame the fuck on you. And,
mhm.
and literally, he's the biggest snake oil salesman I've ever seen in my life. Good Lord.
I love how on the phone it just says she bab on my cock till I get fired. Love that.
Ugh.
What do we? Okay, why don't we talk about Trevor Zegras and Jamie Drysdale not having any contracts yet?
This should not be as complicated as it's being made out to be by Anaheim. I'm going to start by saying that.
Yeah.
Especially Drysdale's, because I really don't see how Drysdale is warranted anything over $3 million.
No.
Unless he's like asking for an 8-year deal, which if that's the case, if you could lock him to like a Chikrin deal, sure. I understand that. Bet on his upside, whatever. That guy has not done a damn thing in the NHL to make me think he deserves an 8-year deal, though. Like, I don't care if he has long hair and looks pretty. He can't play defense. And
You
the
do got
Ducks threw him
that.
to the Wolves way too early.
What's
And it shows.
the picture of it's like, yeah, but he was hot the whole time and it was hard work.
That's why we got to give him an A. Jesus.
Oh yeah.
Whatever. Like, what are the Ducks? The Ducks have $16 million in cap space. So in
Yeah, it's
theory,
not even like it's we gotta make like the Ottawa Senators where they have to they can't sign Shane Pinto.
and they're gonna have 11 mil come off the books after this year with Silverberg and Henry. Like, they can afford this, especially after they just gave Alex Killorn $6 million. And then like they took, like, people forget they took Terry to arbitration just to give him like a 7x7.
yeah, they wanted to give him like 4 or 5 mil for Troy Terry, and like I assumed usually when it goes to arbitration, there's unless like you come out with a very good contract, I feel there's at least some part of the bridge that's like
And-
there's some damage, like bad blood there. Maybe not all the way, but like there's like, hey man, like yeah, there's gonna be the whole thing with contracts is the negotiations. There's always gonna be like, oh, I want 5, I want 7. Let's come somewhere in the middle. But like when it's that far off, when it's like I'm a superstar, like I'm almost a point per game player. I want to be with this team. I want like 6-7 million, but you only gave me 3 or 4. Like that's always gonna be at the back of your mind. And now you're doing the same with Trevor Zegras, who is going to be, it probably already is the next face of that franchise and a marketable star in the NHL. And you want to give him like 3-4 million over 3 years. Like, what the? That's just,
And like, it's not even like Zegers, like, because I thought Zegers was still like a 50-point player. He's had 60 plus points the last 2 years.
yeah.
That penalty minutes concerned me a little, but like maybe he was just getting pissed this year playing in Anaheim. I don't know.
I mean, I would too up high.
Yeah, but Anaheim,
Like, they were worse than the Hawks were. That's how bad they were.
Yeah, like number one reason why I don't get what the Ducks are doing. Like let's just piss off our young players. Like, whatever, dude. I
Don't
get not
come
wanting to
back
give
about him.
Zegers like 9 mil. I understand that. But if he is asking for the same deal that Troy Terry got at
You
22
do it.
years old,
You totally do that.
like, I don't know. Pat Verbeek just continues to make head scratching moves that I don't understand at all. That starts without signing Alex Killorn.
Oh,
Like,
but I
starts
heard
with taking
he,
Leo Carlson over Adam Fantilli. Like,
but I heard he marches to the beat of his own drum, and that makes him a great general manager.
he was the
Yeah.
guy behind. He's just like Steve Yzerman because, he was in Detroit when they drafted Mo Seider 6 overall. Like, I can't, dude. I can't, like, keep defending this guy because he was in Detroit when Detroit drafted
Have we
one good
considered
player.
that maybe Steve Yzerman isn't that great either?
Oh,
Just saying.
we can do a whole show on that one. Buddy. The on ice, we'll talk about that one in a month. Like, promise you. End of October when the Red Wings are 500 again, we will definitely talk about that. But I don't know, man. Like, Pat Verbeek, in all honesty, the last 2 draft classes, like, I'm not going to say they're great. Like, he had 3 first-round picks last year, and he wasted one of them. Like, okay, Michinkov is good. Like,
Mhm.
I'll give you that one. But, like,
Korchinski better though.
yeah, Gauthier, like, who didn't they have one more first? I don't even know who they took.
I don't remember.
I don't know. It's just like let me go look at Anaheim's prospect. I genuinely don't think it's like, yeah, they have a bunch of guys, but they had a bunch of guys 6 years ago. That was the thing. Like, remember when they had Max Jones and he was going to be a big deal? Like, Troy Terry was the only one of that previous prospect regime that
Max Comtois.
Yeah.
For that. Now he's with Vegas on a PTO.
Mhm.
And we don't even know if he's going to be playing
Cassian's
hockey
here on a PTO.
because of the 2018 World Junior stuff that still hasn't been released. I hate this fucking sport.
Yeah.
League.
Yeah, but they got like remember Braden Tracy and Jacob Perreault? They were all supposed to be good prospects, still haven't broken through. Like, Pastuzov is 20. Like, I don't know when he's gonna get there. They got Hellison in the deal a couple years ago. He probably should crack the NHL. Like, granted, their defense is okay. They have like
okay, yeah, we brought Menchikov. Owen Zellweger is fucking gross too.
Yeah, that's not. Did he draft Zellweger though?
Yeah, no, he didn't.
Yeah, so like, I'm not giving him credit for that one. Sorry, like, you don't get credit for a prospect from the previous regime developing properly. Like, I don't know, man. Pat Verbeek is just doing more questionable things that don't, like, if I'm a player, I'm not happy looking at that. Just straight up. Like, oh,
Lisa
you'll
McTavish
willy-nilly
is
give a
pick, too.
32-year-old with a fucking robotic leg in Alex Killorn 6.25, but then tell me I'm not worth it when I put up 65 points on this team the last
And
2 years.
Ryan Strome, 4 more years at $5 million.
Oh, God, they are so mid. It's not even bad. It's mid. Like, ugh, whatever. I mean, he might have taken McTavish. I don't. Who cares, dude? Who gives a shit? Like, the Ducks just need to figure it out. They don't have the financial struggle to do this unless they are still on an eternal cap and not telling anyone.
Which is stupid. Either
Which
way.
could very likely be the scenario. I don't know.
Yeah. Could be my new GM that came in 2022.
All I'm gonna say is if he rakes Reichel over the coals this offseason like this, I'm just gonna be like, whatever, dude. Like, if Reichel puts up 65 points and Kyle Davidson comes out and wants to give him $3 million, yeah, I'll get on his ass. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of players getting pissed off, well, not even with negotiations, no negotiations at all. Steven Stamkos.
I mean, what better tradition is there than the star of Tampa getting pushed out the door in his 30s? So who's going to be the Ryan Callahan this time?
That's right.
That's the real question.
I was going to say Stamkos to the Rangers win. Or buyout in the case of LeCavalier.
Holy shit. But I don't know. I feel like this is what Tampa's proven to do. They get rid of you at the time they need to get rid of you. And unfortunately for Stamkos, coming off a 106-point season.
That's right. He had 106 points.
He's got an injury history and he's on the wrong side of 30. Like, they gave Killorn the cold shoulder. Like, they're probably going to give Hedman the cold shoulder when the time comes in a couple years.
I don't want to play with you anymore.
Literally, bro. Like, that's what good teams do. I'm sorry. Like, they
honestly, that's what good teams should do. But just for Stamkos and even Hedman, that is rough. But
like,
that's.
I don't know. Is the cap going up next year? Like everyone says it is. I don't know if it is.
I hope it is. Yeah, everyone's saying it is, so I hope it is.
Tampa is right at the cap ceiling. If you put
they have more players locked in than they don't. Like, they only have 4 forwards that are up for free agency. One of them is an RFA. So Stamkos 1 year left. Tyler Mott, who is congrats. Of course, that's just the most like Tampa Bay Lightning signing. 1 year. Logan Brown, they signed 1 year. He's an RFA. Alex Barbelet is a UFA. Everyone else is locked in. Yeah. Kucherov still has 4 years left at 9.5 steal. Brain Point 7 years at 9.5 steal. Anthony Cirelli's contract is just kicking in 6.25. I wouldn't say that's a steal, but it's like a solid contract.
Well, Nicholas Paul. Stamkos is gone.
Nicholas Paul, 6 years left, 3.1, whatever.
That one still sucks.
I forgot Connor Sherry got a 3-year contract.
Yep.
That is $2 million as well. elite in his own right, I say. And then Hagel still has 1 year left at 1.5, and then his big contract, which good for him. I'm so proud of him.
My whole thing with Stamkos is he can do one of two things. He can either take a pay cut and stay with the team that he drafted,
Oh
or
no,
he
West
could
Funny in
literally be the
Florida.
Pavelski of next year's draft class and go wherever the fuck he wants. Like, I don't think he realizes that all 32 teams are going to be in on him, especially contenders. Like, you're telling me Carolina wouldn't want to go get Steven Stamkos and add him
Vegas.
to the forward core? You're telling me the Rangers wouldn't do that? Fuck. Here's one. What if Boston sucks and realizes, oh, we need a center. Let's go give Stamkos $9 million.
I
Dude,
saw
it could
Florida
happen.
as an option.
Dude,
I think Jeff Merrick said that. That
Jeff
was just
Merrick, he's
so
if this is like him calling the Leo Carlson thing, I'm gonna be mad.
funny.
Ugh. Whatever.
Or Ultimate Chaos Toronto.
They're still like 12 mil over the cap.
That's right.
It's not happening. Oh wait, no, they're just gonna they're gonna get rid of Nylander and bring in Stamkos, guys. They'll be fine. Ugh, whatever. But like, I just really think Stamkos needs to think about this. He could play this so well if he wants to, and get like 7 times 3. Go play in, I don't know, Vegas, not Nashville, Carolina, like any of those contending teams. Hell, what if he just says fuck it and goes makes New Jersey more stacked? They'll have the cap. Buffalo has the cap. He already sniffed around Buffalo last time he was almost a free agent.
That's right.
He sniffed around Detroit also. Like, I would be surprised if he goes back to the like, and that was when they sucked. Now those teams are on the come up. I don't know, man. Stamkos has got like the ball, like the world in his hands right now. And once
the
he
world is
realizes
always
that, but like I get it. Like, team drafted you. It's 15 years with the team. You don't want to leave. Like, I know Taves and Kane didn't want to get shoved out the door,
No,
but like, hey man, that's the
that's how it
business.
be sometimes.
That's the business.
Some dark horse team, Kraken and Oilers.
And at least he could say he was a pivotal part of one of the cups they won. Because, like, I know if they only won one cup when he was hurt, that would probably sting with him a little more.
I still think him in the bubble, getting off the bench his first shift and scoring a goal,
Chad.
and then not playing again is just the most Chad shit ever. Like, nothing will ever. It's the most chattery of
Facts.
shit you can do.
Facts.
I don't know
that.
that they can
Yeah.
still work that out, but I just thought it was interesting that like there wasn't even like, oh, there's some negotiations, but nothing happened. The negotiations were short.
Oh my god.
Tanner Pearson got traded to Montreal. I don't know if there's really much to that other than it's literally
Canucks are still hilariously over the cap, and Montreal is still hilariously dead. That's all I got to say about that. And now Montreal's over the cap because they got to put Price in LTIR. But
yeah.
like, I'm looking at Montreal's roster right now. Ugh, like it's not good. Well, dude, there's like besides Caulfield and Suzuki and like Doc, there's no high upside players. Like, ooh, they have Alex Newhook. Ooh, they have Josh Anderson and Christian Dvorak locked up for term. Like, oh, but they got Yuri Slavkovsky coming back. Like, this dude is, I don't know, man. I don't know. In a league where it is very clear people are getting faster, this guy's 240 pounds coming into camp. You better hope he knows how to put himself in the right positions because he's just going to be chasing a lot. And I
Or
don't
you
like,
just become Dustin Bufflin.
Dustin Buffalo can at least move.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
I haven't seen anything from Slavkovsky that shows he can move. That's what scares me. But I mean, I hope he proves me wrong. They got Reinbacher. I don't know if he's going to play this year.
I heard he might make the NHL.
I mean,
At
I'm
least
looking at the
with
defense. I'm
Matthews.
looking at. I think he would too.
Yeah.
Matheson and Savard are their best players. And then Jordan Harris and Justin Barron and Caden Gooley and Arbor Jackeye. Woo!
Yeah,
this
but
team-
I would take him on my defense over most defensemen or whatever that thing was last
I'm
year.
just so glad.
Oh, he's a defenseman on 32 NHL teams. That's what it was.
I'm so glad the Habs got the first overall pick last year and not like 2 years ago or even like this year or the year after.
Oh my god, if they got it this year, like they
No.
would have rioted. They would have rioted.
And not only that, Bedard would have been in the stacked ass Atlantic. Like, fuck that.
I'm personally glad he's with us. That's cool. to
Yeah.
me.
You know, me, a Blackhawks fan, I think that's good.
I just think he's neat.
I just think he's neat. But yeah, I don't know. I really don't have much to say about Tanner Pearson. I'm sorry.
I know. I just kind of want to bring that up because it's such a nothing trade.
I will say though, someone pointed it out. He is on the exact same trajectory as Tyler Toffoli since he left LA. Like goes to Vancouver for a couple. Actually, no, didn't Tanner Pearson go to Pittsburgh for a bit? Fuck. All right, he fucked up the trajectory. But he's going from Vancouver to Montreal. Let's see if he goes to Calgary next. After
Here's
this.
what I saw: the Montreal Canadiens have 2/3 of that '70s line. They just got to get Jeff Carter from Pittsburgh.
They could have got him in the Carlson trade. That's the crazy part. They could have got Jeff Carter.
They gotta make it happen. Jeff Carter.
I miss that 70s line when they used to wear the fucking bright Kings uniforms, like the Laker King uniforms. So good. They need to bring those
they
back.
beat my team in the playoffs, and then I didn't like it that much.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I quickly want to go through the PWHL draft that happened, and then we can get into some good old. Or I think we have a couple Twitter questions, but then we can get into some "Am I the asshole?" and I have some trivia, and then we'll wrap up the show.
Trivia.
Hell yeah! Because we're so smart and educational on the PJ's cast. So
Because we're smarter than you.
are you smarter than a fifth grader? Absolutely.
No.
I am. No.
Come back to me when it's fourth grader. Can't do long division still.
But it's a contest for children. Yeah, and Homer beat their brains out. So first overall pick for the PWHL draft. This was snake draft, by the way. Minnesota. They still haven't revealed any of the teams or jerseys, but Minnesota took Taylor Heise. Yeah. Minnesota Golden Golfers is going to play in Minnesota. That's pretty cool. Minnesota. Jocelyn the Rock is going to the Toronto PWHL team to play with Renata Fast on the defensive pairing. That's pretty cool. Sarah Nurse is already there, and Blair Turnbull. The big one here is Boston got Alina Moller, who is a Swiss superstar and one of the best young women hockey players in the world. She's only 25. Like, she's only a month younger than my sister, and she was part of that bronze medal winning team in 2014 with Switzerland with Florence Schelling, who we had on the show before. That was fun. Ella Shelton went to New York. Savannah Harmon went to Ottawa. Erin Ambrose went to Montreal. That's a good one. Montreal's going to be good just by default because they have Poulin. But yeah, it went like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like, there was a lot of rounds. How many were there? 15 rounds. Crazy.
I think the most intriguing part about the PWHL is Sarah Fillier still isn't like allowed to be in the league yet. So when she's eligible next year, I'm very curious to see.
There's
like,
also the other player that wasn't picked. Her name, Michaela Grant Metis. I believe that's how you say her name. She wasn't picked either. I saw that.
I think it's because they're still in school, but
Yeah, that might be it, or maybe they're not old enough. I don't know if there's like
Sarah
there's like
Fillier
an
is
age limit.
23. Like I feel like that is old enough to be on a team, but hey, maybe she wants to finish and get her degree at Princeton. Like it's fucking Princeton. I don't blame her.
Yeah,
But I don't know. I'm very excited to see how these teams play. I'm especially excited that Nurse and MPP are in Montreal and Toronto. Like get that rivalry.
Yeah, oh my god, I didn't even think of that. That is so cool.
And I like that Carpenter, like one of the best American players, is in
New York. Yeah,
like that. Where's Hillary Knight? I don't think
Boston. It's so perfect.
Yeah, that's fucking perfect. So that's
Knight and Moeller. That's gonna be that's gonna be pretty cool.
And then they're gonna face Carpenter. Like there's rivalries already setting up that have been like the lines have already been set from like international play, but like the way the teams are set up, it's that you're still gonna have that animosity, which I'm here for because it always leads to good hockey to watch.
Yeah, that's the thing about women's hockey. Hey, women show soft. Like, no, it's all. I would say it's even more competitive. Like when you watch U.S. and Canada go at it, the women's they hate. I would even say they hate each other more than the men's do. Like there's
they play way more.
They hate each other.
Think.
Yeah,
like they play every year at this point. It's not like NHL players now, where like you probably
they're all buds and it's like yeah.
Like. Yeah, there's legit animosity between Canada and US. So I think it's going to be fun to see how that translates to the PWHL.
I'm not going to lie, last Olympics, since like the NHL players didn't go, I enjoyed the women's hockey way more than I
Oh,
did.
easily, even in 2018 too.
It was so
Like,
competitive. Like,
it'd be nice
How-
to have both.
yeah, how could you not watch Canada US at the Olympics when that's like the biggest rivalry in women's hockey? Like,
Mhm.
I stayed up way too late when I had to be up way too early, but I'm like, worth it.
right? That was like when they were in Sochi and the gold medal game happened at like 2 a.m. I remember that.
Yeah, 2014 was
Right.
Sochi. 2018 was
Not
I think it was
Sochi.
Pyeongchang,
Russia.
I think.
Yeah. No, I'm talking Russia or whatever.
Oh,
Wait. Yeah, Pyeongchang. I'm getting everything mixed up in my head.
I don't remember where 2022 is. It's all blur.
Pretty sure 2022 was Russia, right? Or no? I don't know. I don't give
It
a
was-
shit, honestly. The Olympics, like the Olympics come and go. I feel like I'll watch for women's hockey when it happens, but like
Uh-huh.
I've never been that big into the Olympics, either one.
Oh no, I only watch it for hockey and just to see Canada win medals. Like, oh,
Mhm.
cool, you got gold, bronze, silver. The big thing I remember when the Winter Olympics were in Vancouver, like that was huge because like it just everyone like got together and like every morning on the announcements at school, so and so won a gold medal and like bobsledding or whatever. And but obviously the biggest one will always be the gold medal game. I remember watching that at a theater with like 100 other people, and when Crosby scored the goal, it just exploded. Natalie Spooner is in Toronto. That's cool. Jessie Compher, sister of JT Compher, is with Toronto. And I'm trying to see if there's any more notable names.
Where's Amanda Kessel? Or is she not?
Amanda Kessel. I think I swear I saw something about her, but I'm not entirely sure. I know she was working with the Penguins, I think. Amanda Kessel. No, I don't think she's with the team right now.
We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just like going through the list right now to see if there's like any other players I recognize. But yeah, 15 rounds, 90 players chosen. So yeah, I think I saw the regular season for them starts in like January and that they'll start doing like training camps in December. So once more news comes out on that, we'll keep update with it. But I'm genuinely excited to see where it goes with that. Do we want to get into some Am I the Asshole, and then we can end things off? I saved a few. We were supposed to go record Wednesday, but I have 3 saved here. I actually think some might have been deleted because there's a couple missing. So we'll start with this one, and I'll browse through some more. This is a long one, so get some popcorn and sit down and dig in. Am I the asshole for cooking steak in my house? To start off, I moved into a house with a friend. We decided to split everything in order to keep our expenses low. I love to cook, and he knew this from the start. I cook chicken, steak, pork, pancakes, ham, ramen, etc.
I've heard
As
this
soon
one.
as have you?
I've heard this one. Sorry, continue.
As soon as I kind of like went through it, like cleared through it, but I haven't read it in full.
This is
So
the one
kinda
I think it is. It's gonna be funny. Trust me.
I'd get the gist of it, but yeah. As soon as I cooked food for the first time in the house, he asked me if I could leave the window open. I understood, and I obliged. After about 2 to 3 weeks of being fully moved in, he insisted I open the sliding back door as well. He asked a little more directly, but still somewhat politely. He just doesn't like the smell of cooking, so I obviously respected that since we share the space. Fast forward about a month or two, I forget to leave the sliding door open, but still have the kitchen window open. He comes downstairs and slams the door open and says, "Open the fucking door when you cook!" Then he stomps back upstairs. I was quite shocked that he was that angry, especially since it was merely just an accident. He then comes home one day with plastic bags and tape. He proceeds to tape up every vent in the house just so he can try avoiding the smell of cooking. The house starts looking like a nut house. He gets more distant and short-tempered when I cook food. Eventually, we both get into relationships and our significant others move in with us. My boyfriend and I start cooking, so I'm assuming it's a lady living with another. I don't know. I think it might be gay. Who knows? And so does his BF. Okay. He gets more and more upset. He would stomp downstairs when we cook and slam the sliding door and our window open fully, even if it's like 90% open, followed by a "open the fucking door" /window. My boyfriend and I decided to even invest in a $60, it says snail fan, to help blow the scent out quicker. Finally, one day I had a very long day at work and I got home pretty late. I cooked a steak around 10 p.m. That sounds so fucking good. I really want steak now. Ate and then went to bed. While I was at work the day after, he asked if I could start cooking only outside, which I refused because I've done nothing but try to be respectful as possible, but I still need to eat. It's a house we both pay an equal amount for. I'm going to cook in my own house. He starts to argue and says he can't get any sleep at night without a clean shirt over his face and that all of his clothes are starting to smell like steak. His room isn't even close to the kitchen. When I got home, I find that all of the burners are off the stove. The stove was disconnected from the gas and powered off. He hid them and refused to give them back and told me I'm only cooking outside from now on. I told him not everyone can survive off avocados, peanuts, berries, and beef jerkies. He just became smug as if he won, even though I did everything I could to respect the fact that he didn't like the smell. Am I the asshole? Too long didn't read. My roommate doesn't like the smell of cooking, so he took the burners off the stove and disconnected the gas because I refused to cook outside.
I'd literally go straight to the landlord on that one.
That's what I was gonna say. First thing, right at the end of the story, like disagreements happen when you're living with a roommate. Like my sister moved in with her best friend and they got into fights. Like that happens, I get. But this guy goes a whole nother level, disconnects the stoves and all that stuff. How do we know he did it properly? Like what if there's like a gas leak or something? Like something bad happens. Like you report that to the landlord immediately. Absolutely.
Yeah, what a douchebag. Holy shit. Like,
I
like
just
God
wonder
forbid I feed myself.
what the roommate's problem is. Like, are they like vegan or something and just like don't want to smell meat?
No, he just
ever?
Well, he
doesn't
said
like the
beef jerky.
smell.
So like he definitely eats meat. It's just fucking stupid, bro. Like Jesus. Oh God, like yeah, when you cook, like scents come out of your food. It's crazy how that works. It's crazy how when you make something, it smells good. But no, I don't want my house to smell like a barbecue. Me.
The thing is,
Like
like,
what a fucking germ freak.
Even like beef jerky, that shit stinks so bad.
Like genuinely, how does that person ever walk into a restaurant? Honestly. Oh, it smells like cooking in here. We gotta leave. What a fucking
Yeah, he walks into a restaurant. Waiter, it smells horrible in here. Tell your cookers to stop it immediately.
Also,
Open a
like,
window in the kitchen.
literally. Dude, also, this guy has way more patience than I do. Because I promise you, if I'm cooking after a long day and this jackass comes downstairs, slams the door open, and tells me to open the fucking door,
You take
like,
the steak and you throw it
it's
at him.
It's not just that. You're
Boiling hot.
disrespecting your roommate when you do that shit. Like, just talking down to them. No, that shit wouldn't fly with me. I'm sorry. You don't get to fucking disrespect me while I'm cooking in my house. Get the fuck out of here. Geez, if you have, and also, if he has that many fucking problems with it, move out. You have a boyfriend. Y'all can afford to go live somewhere else. I'm sorry, dude. He's making, like, that one roommate is making way more problems than he needs to, and the guy who wrote the post is not the fucking asshole. That's insanity.
Not at all. Listen, if I were that roommate, the guy who's getting mad, I'd be the exact opposite. I'd be like, yo, you're cooking a steak. Like, can I help? Like, can I have some? You know, like, I love steak so much. I love, like, meat of any kind so much. Like, if you're making, like, stir fry or anything where you're probably cooking it for a while, there's going to be strong sense from it. Like, I'm all in. Like, make me some. What can I do to help? Can I, like, cut up vegetables and stuff? How pathetic, like, you gotta be.
It's one thing if you're making something that doesn't smell good, but it sounds like he's just grilling and like cooking meats, which usually, obviously, if you're you're vegan or something, it's a different story. But like, dude, I fucking love that smell. I don't know, man.
Oh,
like, especially because it's cooking, bro. Like he has to eat to live. Like you don't get to control someone's dietary habits just because you don't like the smell.
The food you're cooking doesn't smell great. I don't think you should eat now, personally.
Oh my God, grow the fuck up. Like that just tells me this person's never been like he must have had parents that like never told him no, like always got his fucking way. Because like, how is that driving you up a wall that much? Like, oh no, the house smells like bacon for the next 45 minutes. Get a fucking grip. Jesus Christ.
Honestly, you should have just taken him to Gibson's and everything would be changed around.
No, I take him to Gibson's and he'd be like, it smells like cooking and then leave.
Yeah, Yeah, like when we walked in and there was like the table for two. No, actually, don't even worry about it. I'm leaving. It smells awful. Open a window while you're at it. Like,
Yeah,
God.
open the window in here. It smells terrible. What a loser. Oh my god. I feel bad for that person's partner.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
Good lord. And like, let's be honest, if his partner like doesn't say anything, that just means he thinks just like him, and
Complicit. Yeah.
you two need to go live on your own at that point. I feel bad for that one roommate. He's just trying to cook a steak after a long day, man. Like, give him a
Bro.
break.
We all just be trying to kick back and cook a steak after a long, stressful day.
Literally, bro.
Here is, jeez. Okay, I found a second one. Unless we have any closing thoughts on that. So this is a novel. Holy, this is okay. Am I the asshole for moving to another country without telling anyone? So a bit of a background for the situation is that my mother, 46-year-old female Lisa, got a boyfriend, 45-year-old male Matt, a bit over 5 years ago after not dating anyone for 7 years. When they got together, I was 15, and she slowly started losing interest in anything that didn't include me. Matt was a massive asshole to me. He didn't leave me any privacy, made racist and homophobic comments, and even tried throwing me out of my own home. He was verbally abusive to me, and my mother didn't do anything about it. One time they flew to Egypt together without telling me, so I was on my own for 10 days at age 15 without any preparation. It was constant fighting between us and after countless attempts of reconnecting with my mother, I just gave up and started planning my escape. Damn, color Gwen Stefani.
The fact that I want to pause real quick. The fact that she has to word it as planning her escape. Oh God.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I never had a family other than my mom, so her leaving me behind made me be on my own, but that certainly wasn't going to stop me. At age 16, I got my first job to make some money to prepare. I worked in many different positions to make enough money till I was 18, and on my 18th birthday, I went to a bank, got all my cards, and when they came, I booked a flight from Germany to England. I didn't tell anyone other than my best friend, so when it came to packing my stuff, she came and helped me with everything. She was the one waving to me when I was going up the escalator, and while it hurt me to leave her, I was so excited to leave. I was lucky enough to have some friends in the UK where I was able to stay for a bit, and while I was couch hopping, I was able to find a job as a barista. It's been 5 years, and I now have my full visa and live in my own little house in Brighton. I don't know, somewhere in England. I'm still in contact with the people working at the cafe I started at, and I do not regret my decision. I was told multiple times by people who got to know my story that I am a massive asshole for doing what I did. So that's why I'm here today. Am I the asshole for doing what I did?
I mean, okay. I don't. It sounds like she's like young. So you left
No,
the
she
house
can't
at
be that old.
16.
Yes.
Didn't
no,
tell
she was-
anyone and left the country. Yeah, that's kind of fucked. Like, even if you want to leave at one point, like, I don't know if she left at 16. It sounds like she left when she was really young, like a young
at
adult.
18, and then
18,
5 years later. So she's like
Sorry.
our age. looks
Well, no,
like.
but like, even if you're leaving the house as an 18-year-old, like, you gotta let someone know where you are just for like a safety reason.
At
Like,
least
yeah,
not-
let a friend know, but
Yeah.
your
Not the parents,
family,
because they're assholes. Yeah.
like, even if your mom's new boyfriend's an asshole, your mom deserves to know where you're gonna be. That's just a human decency thing, dude.
Like, it looks like they're German, like from Germany, because they shipped Germany to England. I would even just be like, yeah, I'm going to England now. I wouldn't even say where I'm going. But like,
No,
like, yeah,
you just have to let them know. Like, it's
yeah.
not like you don't have to like sit them down and have a whole conversation. Like, this is why
Yeah.
I'm leaving. These are the reasons why. Like, you just have to be like, oh,
No,
I'm
they
ready
don't
to start
deserve
my
that.
life somewhere else. Like,
yeah.
I'll see you guys when I can. Like, that's all you have to say. Like, it's crazy how easy that is. And it probably dodges a lot of, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I bet that mom feels a lot of guilt. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Because, like, it sounds like she doesn't contact her either.
Mhm.
So,
no.
like, they probably think she's either dead or fucking somewhere else. Like, that sucks. But she had her, like, I don't know, man. She's going to look back on this in like 10 years and be like, yeah, I should have fucking told him. Like,
At least the mom, like, fuck the
dude,
the
fuck the
mom's
boyfriend. Who gives a
Yeah,
shit?
yeah.
Like, you know how many stories I heard about people who don't like their fucking stepdad or whatever? Like, you learn to live with that. Your fucking blood mother, who's like she said, is her only family.
Gave birth to you. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
Sounds like
man.
she's an only. I think I would assume she's an only child.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, this definitely sounds like something like either she's just gonna live a life of hatred like that, or you're gonna look back at that in 10 years and have to make some amends. Like you're like sounds like there's a lot of growing that needs to be done like internally. And like the craziest thing is like moving out's not the problem. Like that's fine. Like that's great. You want to start your life on your own and whatnot. It's just like your family deserves to at least know. I
At
think
least the mom, yeah.
at least the mom. Like you don't have to fucking talk to the boyfriend. Who cares? I don't know.
'Cause, like,
that
who
one
knows
leaves me
when-
conflicted, man. Because I get
Yeah,
it.
that is a conflicting because when I view from the mom's standpoint, unfortunately, when you're in relationship with those kind of people, you don't really realize how bad they are until you start like losing people around you because they realize that it's bad, but you don't know it's bad, and then you finally kind of start to get the idea. Okay, this person isn't bad. So maybe that mom, like what you said earlier, maybe she does feel guilt, and like they don't have to even again like be in the same country, like at least to be the connection where they can like text and message each other, but it doesn't even sound like that. So yeah, this is probably the toughest one we've read so far.
What
Like
do the comments say? I'm actually very curious what the comments
yeah,
say.
we didn't read comments on the last one because I feel like that one
That
was
one's
kind of unanimous. But yeah, a lot of not the assholes,
Yeah.
which I get. Like I'd probably lean towards not the asshole, but
I just don't
The
know,
fir-
man. Like, because like my thing where I'm coming from is like I remember how I thought when I was 18,
mhm.
and I don't think that way anymore. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of not the assholes, and I would lean that way. But
Well, yeah, like she went to start her life at the end of the day. You can't be mad at that, especially if she was living the way she lived for 3 years. Like, I feel like that's the part that doesn't get stated enough. Like, she did say like she was getting verbally abused for 3 years. Like, that'll take a toll on someone anyway.
mhm.
Yeah,
I don't see. All I see is not the assholes. Like
yeah, it's fine. Like, I just think like she needs to go see a therapist. Like,
And that's not even to be like, oh, you're an awful person. Like it probably sounds like she's dealt with a lot of stuff. Maybe
No,
more
it would
than
just
what
help-
she's letting on. Yeah.
yeah, because it's probably affecting other things. Because like
Mhm.
usually when you make a big decision like that, it kind of hangs over you. I don't know. I'm not speaking for someone else. I feel like this is a very fixable situation, at least with her and the mother. Like we said, like fuck the
Yeah,
boyfriend, or fuck the
yeah.
boyfriend. Who cares about it?
Yeah.
But
Completely know that.
I don't know.
Alrighty. We'll do one more thing before we head out. I gotta pull this up. It's some quick trivia. I think we have a couple Twitter questions, but most of them are like just kind of stuff we already touched on. So I'm just like
Open the
whatever.
case. I didn't win Deal or No Deal. It's empty. Thought I was gonna win 100 grand.
Well, shucks, huh?
I love that show though. That show was great. Deal or No Deal. It's also like the best game at the arcade to get coins or tickets, whatever.
Fudgesicles. I had it pulled up. There we go. I have it. Okay.
As if like, we need elevator music.
Ding, 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 ding. Okay. We're gonna play some trivia game and then we'll end it off. So this game is, can you guess the teams that have the most Stanley Cup wins since expansion era? So that'd be after 1967. So LOL, that doesn't include the Leafs. So 1968 on, which teams have the most cups? Well, I shouldn't like. I'll give the number of cups. The first one is incredibly easy to get, but after that, it's an interesting. Not that it's super difficult, but it's more so interesting to kind of.
Are we going in
See-
order or like are we naming the top like 5 or whatever? What are we doing?
So 10 teams
10?
have
Okay.
won the Stanley Cup since 1968, post expansion, all
Okay.
that.
So,
So I'll give the numbers of like cups the team won. So 5 teams have won 3 Stanley Cups since 1968. 2 have won 4, 2 have won 5, and 1 has won 10. I bet you could probably
Yeah.
guess the 10. That's the
Habs.
easiest one.
Well, the first 2 are easy. It's Habs and Penguins. Penguins have 5.
Mhm.
Habs have 10. Blackhawks are one of the ones with 3. Lightning are one of the ones
Yeah.
with 3.
Yeah.
I think the Devils are one of the ones with 3.
Yep.
Did the Avs win 3 or 4? I think it was
3.
3. Yeah, so they're one of
Yeah.
the 3s. Well, they're 4 because they had, or no, yeah, they won 2 and then 1, right?
Yeah.
Or okay, yeah. So that one's 1. Red Wings got to be in there. I think that might be the 5, right?
No.
4.
Yeah.
I did in the 90s Red Wings. I always get mixed up because they were just like there was like 3 teams that were going at it.
Yeah, it was like the Red Wings, Stars, Devils, Avalanche too. Like those 4 teams were always in it.
Who is so? How many teams does that make? Like 6?
So you've got Habs. That was probably the easiest one.
Yeah.
You got the Penguins. That's 2. Red Wings 4. Lightning, Avalanche, Devils, Blackhawks, Bruins. I think there's 2 we missed.
Wait, Bruins are on there?
Yep, 3 Stanley Cups because they won in the early 70s. I think they
Oh
won.
yeah.
1970s,
It's expansion
71.
era. I'm stupid.
Yeah, and then 2011.
Oh, Islanders are on there for 4
Yeah,
Mhm.
because they won 4 straight.
and
Oilers.
then there's one more. 5. Oilers had 5.
Yeah. So that's it, right?
Yeah, that's the list.
That wasn't that.
It wasn't really trivia. Like, it was more so just like, oh, this team has won. Like, the Habs make so much sense because
10 cups.
The
And they have
Habs
won
in
none
the-
in the last 30 years. That's so
true,
fucking
yeah.
insane. Oh man, that's crazy.
like those late 70s Habs were arguably the best team to ever play the sport of hockey.
Those are the ones my dad always talks about, like Lafleur.
Even
and
my
them.
dad too. Like, he was young and he watched those teams. They had Guy Lafleur, Ken Dryden was goalie, Larry Robinson on the blue line. And there's like just a bunch of like Hall of Famers and guys that
Yes.
could be captain.
He says it's like there's like 3 tiers of players he's seen, and it's like Gretzky, them, and like he throws in Savard too. Like he just
Mhm,
he always
yeah.
says the Savard person was insane, and like no, he's a bad person, but like my dad also says Bobby Hull was nuts back in the day, but
Oh, absolutely, yes.
like just seeing him skate and like his fucking torque on his shot back in the day, because like they could put as much fucking torque as they wanted on
Yeah.
sticks.
Oh,
Oh, I don't know, man. It's just funny because like you could tell like what eras those cups came in too. Like the
Mhm.
Islanders were the 80s, but then like the 90s were all Devils, Avalanche, Red Wings.
Mhm.
2010s are Blackhawks, Pens, and Lightning.
yeah. Mhm.
Like it's very interesting to see how it divvied up.
And then the Blackhawks in the 2020s again. Let's go! Another dynasty. So, to put in perspective how, like, so the second place team, Edmonton Oilers, has 23 wins, like, over their 5 Stanley Cups. The Habs in 61 games in the Stanley Cup final since 1968, like the ones they won, 43 wins.
Domination.
I know. Just it's crazy. The Blackhawks have 17 wins.
We're trying.
Well, don't worry, we'll get there.
Yeah, they have
Yeah.
1 win from the Dirk Graham game in the 90s. That's it.
This one is weird. I don't know if it includes the ones they lost, but whatever. Either way, like the Canadians, like that's still crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, that's it. We can wrap this podcast up. It was nice doing this podcast with y'all. We're almost there. We're at a great time in the year where all sports are just about to go. Hockey's going to start in a few weeks. All that, and I'm genuinely looking forward to it. So, thank y'all for tuning in, the listener. I hope you have a great weekend, and give us a 5-star rating. Subscribe to our podcast on YouTube. Click the notification bell so you don't miss anything. And peace out, y'all. Enjoy the rest of your night.